What's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of the Screen Crusaders podcast. I think we're on like episode 8 or 9 right now. Pretty exciting things to be back. I mean, we did get a slew of stuff today, so recent that I actually was not able to download the videos for like these new trailers that came out. So we're just gonna have to use Google and images so that we don't get taken down by YouTube like we did a couple weeks back. Yeah.
What is it? Other people can do trailer reactions on their channel and not get taken down, but anytime you show 5 seconds from
I'm not sure about that, man. I honestly don't know. I don't know if it's because bigger channels bring in money to them and they don't want.
Yeah,
Who knows?
I think
Who
that's
knows?
what it is. I think bigger channels bring in money, and they have a great reputation of.
I mean, if like the Blue Beetle trailer and the Secret Invasion trailer didn't come out at like last night and today, what I did last time was I had enough time to just put it through like a different platform and change like the aspect ratio, and that alone was enough to not trigger the thing. So I don't know if that's what the other people are doing, but it worked for us.
No, the ones I watch, they just leave it up the same way. They even have the whole thing play. Sometimes they'll cut away from it for a few seconds, but they still play a majority of it, and they don't have the image backwards or anything. So you're probably right.
I think that
those are the most subscribers.
Oh yeah, subscribers, a lot of money with everything, and so that's how it is.
Yeah, who knows? But with that being said, let's go ahead and now that you guys have come in, let's go ahead and introduce you. Let's see who we have on the panel today. We have, of course, my fantastic co-host, Mr. Oyman, returning with us today, who you just heard from. What's up, man?
Hey, I'm eating dinner, so I will try not to make too much sound, because I'm a very hungry boy.
That's going to be you later.
I'm excited to talk about whatever we're talking about.
Yeah. I'll bring up let me bring up the bulletin board before I bring up the next guest.
Which I don't have a way to view when I'm on Gilbert, so you'll have to bring up each topic.
Was there not a way for you to look at my screen through Gilded itself or whatever? All right, but anyhow,
Davel is here.
Yeah, and of course we have Davel coming. Whoa, wait! You gotta let me know. Oh, wrong button. That way I can hit that button.
YouTube's all safe for families and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, stuff now.
What the fuck did I do wrong? Tell me.
But
unless it's Arnie, then you can say the F word all you want.
Yeah, he gets a pass. But what's up, Davel? You're today's special guest for the episode. How have you been doing, man?
Good. Pretty exhausted. Went to bed to 2 a.m. again.
Not surprised.
Bullshit.
All right. Well, hopefully you'll be awake enough to to talk about some of these projects. Joining us
his mind's gonna wander.
Just joining us as well is, of course, my good buddy JT. What's new with you, man?
Not that much. I'm so excited for this episode. Again, I feel like as we're going to talk about Blue Beetle and how everything is really bright and colorful, can we really say that DC is back? That's a question that we're going to talk about.
I don't know. Well, the bigger question is Blue Beetle going to be back? We don't know what comes after all this.
Good point.
And of course, joining us as well tonight, the last panel member is Miss Cap. How you been up, or how have you been up to? What you been up to, Miss Cap?
You know, I'm just trying to get through the last 6 weeks of school. You know, just trying to teach these kids. That's all. Honestly, I'm so done.
You teach those kids.
I'm done.
Teach them what they don't know.
Everything. I love them.
They don't know nothing.
Disclaimer: I do love my kids that I teach. I love them very much.
What grade?
School. Grade. I love my third graders.
Third
I
grade.
do. I do. Convince myself.
Oh man,
Probably
so
smarter than high schoolers these days.
I have to be happy about Blue Beetle and all future stuff that's going to be coming out and things. So let's get started.
yeah, man. And speaking before we get started, I literally just saw that, like, I guess breaking news from like 10 minutes ago or so. It looks like apparently HBO is trying to get well, I guess they already kind of have the rights, but they're working with J.K. Rowling's to reboot Harry Potter already. Man, they apparently sources
Yeah, I
over
heard
at
about this a while ago.
sources of
Absolutely not.
sources
Yeah,
at
I heard about
Bloomberg
this a while
said
ago.
that they
It's
know.
confirmed now.
Yeah, they have knowledge of the situation based on their source that the series was near a deal, and each season would cover one book. As far as, so I guess.
Oh, it's a show.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
still say no.
yeah.
They're
Well,
just milking it even more.
It's too
They're
soon.
going to be
It's
doing
too
the
soon.
Hobbit. They're going to do what the Hobbit did and just add stuff that wasn't in the books.
probably, and we all know how that
I've read
went.
the books recently and watched the movies recently, and and J.K. Rowling is not the best person, so you
Yeah,
know.
she's out of it.
Well, I'm pretty sure money will do that to you. But again, what is that noise? It's
There's
like,
a can in the background.
That would be.
Oh.
That's David. Mute yourself.
There's no can.
yeah, I was about
No,
to
it's
say
not.
it sounded.
I'm not drinking anything.
It was not me. It was me. God.
Oh,
I
it
know.
sounded like someone
I know,
was
but
kicking
I
a
just-
can.
I'm just defaulted to David. It's too much background sound. It's probably like if you hear a.
Brother, this
That's
guy
David taking a shit.
stinks!
All right. Well, before
Back
we
on topic.
before we get started to the actual nitty gritty of today's episode, which we have quite a bit on the thing, I will say a quick PSA. We do have, wait, what the hell is this? We do have Guardians of the Galaxy tickets went on sale this morning at about 8 a.m. in Central Time. So if you haven't looked at it, I would recommend maybe checking out your local theater that you plan on going, see how their seats are looking, and if you plan on going or not. But with that being said, we also have a second PSA, which is going to be the fact that lovely. Whoops, wrong. What the hell?
It's not me.
Hold on. My thing is acting up.
Burp like that.
Okay, there you go. Sorry, my bad. My freaking Windows was going crazy on my ass. Anyways, like I was saying though, so we get a Spider-Verse trailer tomorrow. Of course, we have what the first topic of the evening is, and that is the Secret Invasion trailer dropped, as well as this morning a Blue Beetle drop. So there's quite a lot for us to kind of get in and examine as far as the upcoming summer blockbuster season. We look, as geeks, we usually look forward to this every year. It has been a little bit not only dry but slightly disappointing here and there for the most part in the past couple years, mainly due to the pandemic and everything like that kind of halted some of the steam some of these projects had going for them. With that said, though, we also got a release date for Secret Invasion alongside that first trailer. And so what are y'all's thoughts about that? Or the release date is June 21st. My bad. I'm all over the place today. But how do you guys feel about that release date? Do you guys think that's a good move? I know they originally said springtime, and ironically, the first day of summer is actually the release date of this show. So they obviously did not keep the
one
promise.
day late.
Yeah. They made it. If they released it the day before, they could have still claimed like, shut the fuck up. You like we still released it in spring. We just didn't say it would be the last day. But they dropped the ball on that one a little.
Summer start in June.
What's up?
Late June. That's too. I said summer's like late June is way too late to be starting summer.
Yeah.
It'd be hot as hell in mid.
Well, yeah, here in Texas, but the calendar
I guess
wise,
everywhere else.
Texas be like May.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh hell, March
April,
or April.
90
Yeah, we're
90
already
degrees.
getting humid and heat over here.
95 degrees today, so
But what was y'all's impressions of the trailer? Like, well, I'll start with you, Miss Cap. Well, how did you feel about the Secret Invasion trailer that they dropped?
I think it's gonna be good. It's really interesting. It looks like we're gonna get some new players, some new like kind of just like different things we haven't heard from, or maybe we have heard, but like or like hinted. It's kind of like coming full circle. Like, oh yeah, didn't we hear that one thing from that one movie type of deal? But it looks really interesting. The question I have is like, how long has Nick Fury actually been in space? That's the only question I have. Hopefully they answer that, because I know there's theories out there and stuff of exactly how long he's been in space, but they don't actually mention it. Like, you've been gone. They say you've been gone for too long. Like, well, how long has he actually been gone? He looks much
Earth.
older in this trailer. Like,
It really does.
than we, not what we normally see, but like from all the other movies. Like, he even from I think his last like appearance, which was what?
Far From Home.
No Way Home or Far From Home? One of the two.
Far From Home.
Because Far From Home was his last appearance, and he was in space, but he didn't look that old. So, like, how long has it actually been? Only question I
That's a
had,
good
but
question.
other than that,
Yeah, no, that's a pretty interesting question.
I'm actually really interested in this. It's gonna
Because
be
he probably left to
really
go to
nice.
space when everyone got snapped back in 2023. He goes to space. This show probably takes place, I don't know, 2 years after the Endgame events. It's kind of hard to tell how much time
It's hard to
has
tell.
passed in the MCU. Because the
Yeah.
MCU is like, it's stuff happening as the years in real life are going on, like they used to before Infinity War happened? Or is it like the last 2 years of movies all take place in the same year?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Hopefully
Also,
we
I
do
was
get
like,
some
I
of
don't
those questions answered there. What were you saying, Miss Cap?
Yeah. Also, the only other I just thought of another question. Like, which side of the skulls?
Scrolls.
Scrolls, yeah. Side are they on? Because I know, and I think in what the comic scroll, the scrolls, they're like on the other side, like the enemy side, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
right?
they're usually
Yeah,
not
As
good
comics
guys.
were.
bad guys.
But I know they went kind of the opposite with Captain Marvel, where they were like one of the oppressed. I wonder exactly which side are they the actual secret invasion, like they pretended to be this way. I don't know. Yeah, good questions.
There'll be good
I feel like
ones.
these are good questions.
There'll be good guy scrolls and bad guy scrolls.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And
Yeah, as well as good guy humans and bad guy humans. So it's gonna be very espionage-y.
yeah, and what that brings up, what was I actually going to ask? Feel free, either JT or you, Mr. Oyman, to answer. But based on this trailer, and obviously the trailer we've gotten before, it kind of shows a different tone that feels more in line with some of the older stuff like Winter Soldier or maybe even a little bit of Civil War. Are you guys kind of glad that they're heading back in that direction, or do you guys feel like they should just move on from that type of style and just do kind of like Phase 4 and just kind of do their own thing? I know Phase 4 wasn't the most popular, but are you guys liking the fact that it seems that they are kind of reeling it back, or how do you guys feel about that?
Actually, I appreciate going back because I think this show in particular, just what Miss Cap says, like where was Nick Fury? Like, when did this show take place? And hopefully, the show answers that question. If it doesn't, I'll be really pissed because the whole MCU is much more complicated now because of the years and the snap and how Endgame sort of ended. But I kind of like the style of the show is going back to the old MCU where it's all about character development, strong villains, and like strong plot. I think that's what at least phase 1 and 2 really proven, is that they can do a great story and great character development, also great, somewhat great villain as well. So I'm glad that they're going back to it. It kind of, for me, feels like this is Samuel L. Jackson's last hoorah within the MCU, have his own show. It will be kind of interesting to looking back on these movies. Now we have Secret Invasion. Now, it's like, it'd be kind of hard to tell, like, Nick Fury as a Skrull in those like particular moments within the movies. And again, we don't know how long he'd been in space, but I like the tone of it. I think that this show would really help bring back some like older MCU fans who kind of fell off the bandwagon, so to speak, and who disliked Phase 4. I felt like this would be like the tone set of like, okay, guys, listen, please have faith in us again. This is a brand new show. Samuel Jackson's back. You haven't seen him in a while. We're going to talk about the Skrulls and how this impacts the timeline with Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty and all that stuff. But for now, you have your old man Nick Fury back, and so I'm kind of glad. But at the same time,
back to basics.
Well, so we'll see. We'll see.
All right, and I got a question for you, Mr. Oyman. You ready for this one?
No.
So, no,
go
you're
ahead
not.
Anyway.
What do you mean, no? Do you not want to answer this one?
The way you're setting this up, I'm not sure I'm going to like this question, but go ahead.
Why? Okay. Before I ask you, what do you think I would ask?
I don't know. I have no idea, but I have a feeling that the way I can hear the smile in your voice. Like you're about to ask this question.
For everybody in this room, for everyone in this room, just take a wild guess.
Okay, wild guess. You're about to bring up something related to She-Hulk. Wild guess.
Actually, no, I'm not.
Okay.
I wasn't even crossed my mind. So on the screen, which you obviously can't see.
I know how big of a fan you are of She-Hulk and how much you like to bring her up. So I just figured that's where you're going with this.
You're confusing me with Mr. Joestar. But what's it called? No, on the screen here, I got a screenshot. So we got a secret, like, in Secret Invasion, we got a secret cameo. It looks like Groot's looking a little bit different nowadays. So what's it called? What did you think of?
Hold on. Let me log on, see what you were talking about.
Well, have you not seen the trailer?
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm like,
yeah, no, but in actuality, it looks like.
What's going on with that?
I'm pretty sure that's technically our first look at a Super Skrull, because they tend to imitate powers. Obviously, Super Skrull, the main one, usually has the power of all the Fantastic Four. Granted, we haven't seen that, but my guess is this guy maybe does look like he's pulling a Groot because he might have seen the Guardians of the Galaxy and he's like, you know what, I want that power. And so how do you being a fan of the Fantastic Four, I know you're familiar with Super Skrull, what are your thoughts on them? Like, are you excited or do you not really care if they bring that aspect of Skrulls? Would you rather them keep them simple or start delving into those more fantastical, crazy Skrull powers?
That's a good question. Well, I guess since we haven't gotten to the Fantastic Four yet, I wasn't expecting them to tackle Super Skrulls this early, but I guess I don't see why not. Why they can't begin to set them up and then, use them to greater effect when we do get to the Fantastic Four. But my main thing I'm wondering about this whole show is, like, if you take the end of WandaVision and you take the end of Miss Marvel, they both are leading directly up to the Marvels, where Nick Fury will definitely be involved in that. And the end of WandaVision was kind of implying, when Monica talks to that Skrull, she's like implying that Nick Fury is up in space, he wants to talk to you. So I would think that the Marvels movie coming later this year is going to kind of pick up all of that. So where does Secret Invasion tie into all of that? Like, is Secret Invasion something where the end of that show is going to also lead into the Marvels, or is it supposed to take place at a different time?
That's a good theory.
Well, I have no idea.
I want to say that they might want to have them take place simultaneously, honestly, because if the Skrulls are up to something, and I feel like if you give like Shield, or if they're creating Sword. I don't know if they're gonna go down that road, because it might open up too many, like, not questions, but too much to explain before Secret Wars. And I know they want to reduce content based on like rumors and reports and what Iger and all them are saying. But if you think about it, if you're gonna launch a surprise attack, it would make sense for all of these to actually be taking place simultaneously. Both the Spider-Man, Far From Home type of shit, or No Way Home, and this WandaVision, like you mentioned, to where if they get sucker punches because they were barely finding out that something was going to be coming up, but they weren't fast enough to stop it. But back to the Super Skrull. Again, it looks like he has Groot's power, this and that. We've seen superheroes in the MCU.
Yeah.
Which powers of what we currently seen in the MCU would you want to see maybe a Super Skrull take place? Like shoot lightning like Thor, or be able to turn big like the Hulk, or what would you think would be really cool if they put it on screen for this show?
Super powered people other than like your super soldiers and wizards and stuff, and usually the Skrulls adapt powers that are like mutant based, so a lot of mutants will have specific superpowers that a Super Skrull can kind of mimic or take on, like they do with the Fantastic Four. So I don't really know if there's enough, like if you look at all the superheroes in the MCU so far, not a lot of them, they all kind of have the same superpowers. There's not really a difference of superpowers on display for there to be Skrulls to take those powers up yet, because we haven't had X-Men introduced, we haven't had Fantastic Four introduced yet. So I don't really, other than like you said, Groot. I mean, Thor. I don't really see how one of them could mimic a weapon like Mjolnir.
They've done it in the past. They've done it with like claws, and they've also done like the Inhumans powers. They've done quite some stuff. Those Skrulls.
But we haven't had that many. Like honestly, the most diverse set of superpowers we've seen has been the Eternals. I mean, there hasn't been a whole lot of like things for Super Skrulls to be able to mimic power wise, other than like being strong and maybe flying or jumping around and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'd rather they not try to do Super Skrulls in this series. I'd rather they just stick with normal Skrulls and work on like telling a really interesting story and save the action spectacle stuff for the movies. Because every time the shows try to do action spectacle, it's kind of like, you're trying too hard, Marvel. Just stick with what you know how to do.
Well, you brought up a good point there. At the same time, though, some of the main complaints is that these shows have is that they're a little bit lackluster and kind of slow, and they don't tell like an amazing story to warrant not there being any excitement per se. Do you think that they should take it slow, like Mr. Oyman said, or do you think they need to speed it up for it to catch your interest, Avel? Earth to Devo, you there?
Oh, sorry. What was that? Kind of cut out.
No, I was saying that Mr. Oyman says that Secret Invasion, he would prefer they don't try to overdo the action, because in the Disney Plus shows it doesn't
just have a good amount of action.
come off and focus more on telling a story. What would your opinion on that be? Like, I know these, like I asked a second ago, I know some of these the complaints to the Disney Plus shows is that they're lacking in the terms of making something super exciting, and they're kind of story driven, even if sometimes they don't have the best story. So for you, what would you think would be something like would catch your interest for this show? For it to be action packed, or would you rather it just focus on telling like a spy thriller that's more on suspension than it is on action?
I'm gonna compare this show probably to like I guess the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or like Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Like watching that new trailer kind of gave me those vibes, especially the way it was shot, the cinematography. It seems like it will have like its action moments, and then it will have its story moments. So I think if like this movie establishes like, I would say kind of like the biggest establishment is Kang now currently in Marvel, but with this show, like I'm not sure what the purpose of the show is besides connecting it
Fighting the
somehow
king or
to
not.
the marbles. Or the Kang at all, or something like that. But I mean, I'm really interested in it just because of the way it looks. It's very its own kind of thing. I mean, they have other characters like War Machine in there, and the chick from the other Avengers movie. I guess like the assistant lady. I forgot her name. She's an agent.
Oh, Maria Hill.
Maria Hill.
But I forgot her name. Yeah, Maria Hill. There you
Maria
go.
Hill.
Her. So it's kind of cool to have those characters back in there. It's been a while. I think the last time we saw her was like in. I mean, I think last time I saw her was Infinity War, right? Or was I
At
wrong?
the end credits, and
It was
then we
Far
saw
From
her.
Home.
Yeah, Far From Home, but very small role as well, kind of like the Nick
Saw
Fury role.
Talos' wife
That's right.
playing her.
Yeah, but the last time we actually
Yeah.
got a
But
decent
I
look
think-
at
I
her
think
was
they
Age
should-
of Ultron. What were you saying?
But I think they should play by their strengths with their storytelling versus action. Just because like we've had a lot of action recently, but it hasn't been really good storytelling, at least for me, especially with She-Hulk and then the Marvels. I mean, or Miss Marvel.
Good point.
So
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, they have focused a little bit more on action, especially when it comes to the movies
Even
and such.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah, then
Like, Shang-Chi had great action, but everything else is like, yeah, kind of been there, done that.
All right, but speaking of freaking cool action, we did get our first look at Blue Beetle earlier today, and
The
that
antithesis of Secret Invasion.
yeah, and this feels like it's. Well, I'll just let you guys take the floor, especially you, Miss Cap, and I know that Davell also had a lot to like talk about on this guy because you guys are both fans and looking forward to this. But I'll let you, Miss Cap, go first. What were your impressions on this?
I honestly like it a lot. Like, Jaime, first of all, like, I really do love Blue Beetle. I love his story. The ones that I've seen from like other shows, not comic wise, but from shows. But I really love his his storyline, how he acquires it, how he has to live with it, and like the struggles he goes through. And and watching this trailer, you kind of see that a little bit. So his suit is like hella amazing. Like,
I agree.
actually, it's like really, really done. It's not like too like high techy. I think if I would say it, but like the way he
It's pretty
acquires
high-techy.
it, what he has to go through, it is. But like, what
It still has like an
Yeah, it's
organic
like
feel
organic.
to it.
Yeah, organic.
there we go. It's a better word for it. Like, it doesn't look like it was like plastered on him. It looks like he was made for it.
It doesn't have
if that makes
machine
any
parts
sense.
and stuff attached to it. It looks like a organic substance, but it's
like,
also high tech.
Yeah, but no, I'm really excited for this. I only got to watch the trailer like once because I had to watch during my lunch my lunch break. But I wasn't able to go like really in depth with the watching it and seeing like frame by frame. But overall, though, I'm really excited for it. I can't wait to see Jaime on screen and like what he does with the Scarab and what the Scarab does for him. And it makes me a little hyped. I haven't watched a DC film in a while, so I didn't watch Black Adam. Reasons.
Oh,
So-
really? I thought you did. JT didn't make
I have
you
not
watch
You'd
it.
like
watched it
Shazam.
yet. I haven't seen
Watch
Shazam yet, so
Watch
like,
Shazam. Skip Black Adam.
so this excited
The
for
best
this.
thing
This is
about
one
it
I
was
would
the end credit scene.
Yeah.
like want
Well,
to go and see.
To be fair, though, I feel like Mr. Orman, you say skip Black Adam, but I mean I haven't seen Shazam yet, so I can't speak on that movie. But this gave me pretty big Black Adam vibes. Like not in the way that you would think. Like I think that objectively the movie itself is probably going to be better. But I feel like the
Visually,
the
it looks similar to Black
yeah,
Adam,
visually it looks
which
similar.
looked great.
The what's it called? The overall feel of the like tone and stuff like that reminds me a lot of the Black Adam movie. Like it feels like it's gonna be focused on just having fun. It's gonna focus on action and visuals, and while I might not have
Shazam's as well.
while I might not have the strongest story, it still is just gonna be a serviceable story. But when you combine it with the other stuff, I feel like it's just gonna be a solid, just good time that you could just go in, feel like the 2 hours went by super fast, and then be like, wow, that was fun.
Yeah.
But back to what Miss Cap was saying, as far as from the comics and adaptations and all that, I feel like Blue Beetle is just, I don't know what it is about him, but he's not easy character, but I'd say he's a great character to adapt, because I have yet to see an adaptation, whether it be a game, a TV show, or anything like that, that actually does a poor Blue Beetle adaptation. Maybe it's just the characters is likable, or
He is a great character.
Yeah, it's just I'm hoping this continues the trend. But what are your initial thoughts on it, Devel? I know you're our like the big DC guy of the group, so I definitely want to hear your takes on what you thought of Blue Beetle.
Oh, 1 second. I was washing my hands. Let's see here. Well, I want to start with first. The first time I knew about Blue Beetle was through Smallville. I think it was season 9 or season 10 or something. And I remember specifically his costume, how it looked like. It was very practical.
Was it that was the Ted Cord version?
Was it?
Cord version, right? Because I don't think Jaime was around back when Smallville was around. He's kind of like Kamala. Yeah, kind of like Kamala Khan. He wasn't introduced into the scene till
he was
recently.
A kid. He was a kid in the show.
I think he was in Smallville.
Well, I wouldn't.
He was
Was it Jaime or was it Ted? Was it Jaime or was it Ted?
The kid. It was Jaime. It was Jaime.
Oh, Jaime. It was Jaime. Okay. Huh.
Was it Jaime? Okay.
Well, I haven't seen it, so.
Yeah,
I
remember that show specifically because that was the same episode where we were introduced to Booster Gold, and it was kind of interesting seeing Booster Gold be the hero to Blue Beetle in that show. But the whole point is that was my first look of a live action adaptation of Blue Beetle, and I liked it because it was cool. It's a Hispanic kid, so I kind of reached out to
you're right, because
cultural heritage background.
I just looked at him, and he was introduced back in 2006. I feel like I don't know why I thought it was more recent. I associate him with being a new character, but I have seen him for a good minute. I just didn't think it was almost 20 years. Man, time went by fast. But here, so I'll put up a different image on the screen. So
there he is.
I'm trying to remember that. I don't remember that.
So this was our first. Keep going, thinking.
Wait.
I've seen Smallville
hold on,
times, and I don't remember this.
Yeah, keep talking.
Okay.
Keep talking, Devel. About the trailer. I'm just kind of showing the audiences the
Is
difference.
that him from Smallville?
Yeah, I'm trying to show the differences between that one and
It's definitely different.
the new one. Yeah, there's definite. Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah. So
where's our YouTube channel? I'm trying to find it. Sorry, I'm
trying
to see what you're
so
showing.
I've only seen the Blue Beetle trailer once on my phone. I haven't even gotten a really good look at it. I just kind of I watched the trailer on my phone. But when you go back to the image of the new one,
it's on there.
Pretty cool. Look at that.
Yeah. The new one.
Wow.
The new one looks like. Granted, some of these shots did look like they was originally a straight to DVD type or streaming movie, but they did. It does seem like they glowed it up, and they did put a decent amount of effort into at least himself. So he looks great. He looks like this right here. This Smallville one is the Blue Beetle.
Real quick.
That's a Blue Beetle at home, but.
Oh yeah. That's definitely a cosplayer Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
But still, for the time,
That's something I would.
For the time, it's pretty good.
Yeah, for the time and budget, they did what they could. I applaud them for that because Smallville was a great show.
He looks very Iron Man-y though, huh? Like just the with the shape of the face and everything. It's very Iron Man.
Oh, the new one.
It still looks cool though. Yeah, the new one I'm looking at.
That's
Like
I saw an
see
article
how
that said
the
that.
face is like the whole helmet looks very much like a black and blue Iron Man
It
instead of a red.
reminds me of
Whereas
the
that one,
Iron
Wait.
Heart chick. The Iron
Yeah.
Heart's face.
So this is new Blue Beetle.
whatever, yeah.
This is Blue Beetle at home. But you were saying, Devel, keep going on your thoughts and what stood out to you in this trailer.
Yeah, I think when first Miss Cap posted like at the teaser for it, I had no idea. Like, I remember reading something about like the new trailer would be attached to I think it was a Mario's movie or something, and I was like, oh, we might get a trailer next week or something. And yeah, I guess it was right. When I first saw like the snip teaser trailer for it, I was like, what the heck? George Lopez is in this? I was like, oh god, not him again, because he kind of killed Shark Boy and Lava Girl. He kind of
Yeah, I will say I'm not a big
grounded
fan
little
of
bit.
him.
He's not overly comedic.
He's
He's not overly overkill. And but when I saw the trailer, I was watching through the scenes, and I was really curious. Like, I guess like what city he's in? Is it Panama City or something like that? Or where's
Yeah.
he in?
Like,
The whole skyline looked very futuristic, and it kind of it basically replicated what was first shown, the concept image of him in this cool like Tron looking LED city, and it kind of looks like that. And then when as soon as he put on like the scarab attached to his body and started to like basically like almost like morph into the suit instead of like almost like tactile, it was more of like organic, which was really cool. And then when we had the whole suit on, I was okay. That looks like straight out of like Injustice 2, because he had a very similar suit, like kind of cool down metallic blue look. And I love the way the eyes look. The eyes don't look like I guess what you're showing right now, the Smallville one, where it's just one big yellow lid. It looks like
they actually have
when
pupils.
he's looking around, his eyes move inside. Yeah, like they have pupils, which is a very nice touch. And the fact that he can, that he's a kid, and like he can basically think of like, oh, if I like anime like Bleach, he'll have a big ass Bleach sized blade. That's really cool. And the guns, the blasters, like hopefully he does really cool scenes with like his weapons, almost like like his finisher moves and Injustice 2. And then I'm not sure who the villain is though. I think some like Mexican guy with a beard, and like he looks like the Hunter or something. But
Susan Sarandon the bad guy?
Overall thoughts, I think it's what?
Susan Sarandon the villain?
What'd you say?
Or isn't Susan Sarandon the villain, or is there another like male villain?
Susan Sarandon, I think the main villain who's looking for the scarab, like the one who's paying for the stuff, but there's like a named henchman, basically, like a henchman with an actual name that's probably going to be going around
that
actually
can
fighting
fight
him. Yeah, that could go toe to toe with him. Is what it looks like. I don't know, man. I'm leaving
overall,
that Smallville
I'm really,
one up.
Excited for it just because
it's growing on me.
This does look different from what they.
Wait, you cut off, Devel. Can you hear us, Devel?
Oh, can you hear you?
Yeah, you cut off.
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we could hear you right now.
We can hear you.
What I was gonna say is that I'm not sure if you guys noticed in the trailer, but they showed a basically Easter egged Ted Cord suit in the background when he's like in the ship or some sort of his base or something. His lair. Did you guys notice that there were like 3 suits in the background?
Yeah, I noticed that.
It's very comic accurate.
Yeah, because they were talking.
Hopefully they show like, because I'm assuming that lady who said like, oh, that.
You're cutting off again.
Say something?
No, you're cutting off again.
I think it's my internet or something.
Yeah, it looks like you're going in and out.
I don't know what's going on. All
right. Well, who else wants to kind of give their thoughts and opinion on it real quick?
Yeah, I'll go. I enjoyed it. It looks like a fun DC movie. I kind of feel like him and Buster Gold is going to be maybe in a pairing down the road because I know that Buster Gold is going to be one of the characters James Gunn is going to introduce in the new DCEU, and so to speak. But we have to remember, Blue Beetle takes place after the Flash, so after the Flash is a whole new movie thing and everything, and so this is brand new, fresh, like a new and improved DC. In terms of the trailer itself, the pastel colors I really like. The whole family dynamic is going to be really awesome, and how the character development, the whole story is going to be pretty cool. Have a lot of action sequences. The suit looks amazing, just like in the show Young Justice, and again in the video game Injustice 2. It feels like it feels fresh to me. It feels like this is the right direction. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna have some tense moments, but at the same time, it's gonna be kind of lively, impactful. And so I'm glad that it's in August. August is a kind of a going back to school type movie and everything, like finding yourself type thing that Jaime is part of and everything. So it's a perfect placement for this movie in August. And I just can't wait to watch this in theaters. I'm kind of glad it's in theaters, not HBO Max, because we kind of need like a kind of like Latino superhero type thing on the big screen. I don't think we had that in a while. I could be wrong, but I don't think we had that in a while. But I'm kind of glad that we have a chance to kind of do this on the big screen instead of HBO Max. And again, hopefully there's one more trailer and that's it. I don't want to know much about this movie because I want to be surprised. I know that all you guys want to be surprised of the movie as much as I do. But it's a great start. The poster looks amazing. The script looks amazing. I mean, I just can't wait to watch this movie, especially in IMAX. I think it's going to be really awesome with the colors popping out of the screen, and it's going to be amazing. So I'm pretty impressed with what DC has for this movie going forward.
Yeah, and like you said, they're bringing in a Latino superhero, which Marvel, you missed your chance. You could have gave Luis a super suit and done that, and $1 billion would have competed with Morbius.
$1 billion.
But no,
Made
you
more
didn't.
money than Ant-Man.
Yeah, probably would have made more money than Quantumania. Whoops, I guess I don't have
I
a like.
gotta head out. I gotta go take care of some stuff.
All right, well, thanks for stopping by.
Bye.
I'm glad you were able to give your thoughts on the Blue Beetle trailer, and again, thanks for stopping by. So glad you were able to make it. You have a good one, Davel.
Yeah.
Here, bye.
Bye.
All right. And with that being said, did you have any thoughts on that you wanted to share, Mr. Oyman?
About Blue Beetle?
Yeah.
I think it looks okay. I don't really know exactly. I will say this: seeing George Lopez in it kind of made it look and feel a bit like a straight to streaming movie, just with like a really big budget. But just like everything else about it looks very much like a superhero origin movie. So I'm hoping there will be something in their portrayal of Jaime Reyes as well as the other characters that they do plan on putting. Like I just want it to feel not like you said, just like Black Adam. Like it looks cool, it's good money, but it's just kind of a been there a million times kind of movie, which DC sort of has been. I have a feeling though that James Gunn is going to use this version of Blue Beetle, especially if it is successful. And by successful, just making more money than Black Adam, then you'd probably be considered successful.
And I've got to say, in all
if he
honesty,
plans on
Keep going. I just put the Rock in the background.
I was waiting for the Rock. I didn't want to cut him off.
No,
I'm wondering how they're
angry.
gonna build this into the future DCU going forward. If they are going to, I think it would be kind of smart to start teasing that a little bit, since people need to get excited about DC stuff coming up and not just like, let's just wait for this to come out.
I think I have the answer to it. I think Blue Beetle. I think they might actually do a live action Teen Titans movie. Because with Blue Beetle and with the Batman, the Brave and the Bold, like a lot of the Bat family. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong, but maybe like a Teen Titans movie, that'd be kind of cool. Sorry, not Teen Titans, like a Young Justice type movie, maybe.
Young Justice, I can get behind. Teen Titans, not so.
Either
sorry,
or.
yes,
Well,
Young Justice.
They're just the same thing with a different name. But it's still like ice cream. It's like one's chocolate, one's vanilla. At the end of the day, they're both ice cream. But no, like you said, Mr. Oyman. We have The Rock in here with his thoughts on the new DC universe.
And I've got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Damn it, Rock! You said you wouldn't say that. You said, "Get him out of here, security."
What the fuck did I do?
Get him out.
Tommy?
All right, they escorted him out. He sounded like Arnold there, but they escorted him out. But moving on, so we'll move on to the one of the other topics. This is where the next couple of topics we're probably going to end up skimming by, because I was really wanting to get the input of Mr. Joe Star, who unfortunately wasn't able to join us. He had some stuff come up. But the Netflix did order a new anime series based on Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I know a couple of you are fans, but that's literally his jam. But I'll let you guys who do love that thing. How do you guys feel about this? They're not only making it an anime, but they're bringing back the cast from the film, which was wildly beloved within the fans of Scott Pilgrim, the fandom there. So how do you guys, like JT, how do you feel about them kind of blending the two sides together?
Oh, it's awesome because I saw the movie on Netflix on Sunday and it was great. Like watching it again, I mean, Michael Cera is a kid and Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Like Aubrey Plaza's character. Like Anna Kendrick. Like all these names. Like the movie is like so refreshing and it's so stylized and so awesome that I'm kind of glad. And plus, I'm taking the initiative and I'm reading the manga series. So I'm kind of preparing. I'm preparing myself for this Netflix anime. But I'm so glad. I think that we need this a lot because they're hearing like Aubrey Plaza's character like cursing up a storm and Anna Kendrick's character giving Michael Cera's Scott some like pitiful advice, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character just hanging out with Scott. It's just kind of cool. Plus like Chris Evans and all these other people is gonna be in it. So I'm very excited for it. This is gonna be awesome. But hopefully the style of the anime will be cool. And again, like I'm looking forward to this. So thank you, Netflix. Thank you.
What about you, Miss Cap? Like, are you like? Granted, I bet you are excited about the cast from the movie coming back. Would you like, if it was up to you, would you rather have like gotten a new cast, or do you think this is like the choice that you would have personally done?
No. I really think definitely bringing back the original cast from like the movie is a great choice. Everybody loves them. You can still imagine them being that character, even though it's just going to be their voice. So like, it's just like watching like the movie all over again, but like in a different form. And honestly, I think that's pretty cool because sometimes you have like reboots where they get a whole new cast and it just doesn't feel the same because you love like the original content so much. Like when the new content comes in and it's like a different cast but like kind of the same premise, you're just like, man, if only we had the original cast to do this. The fact that they're doing something like this and like everyone's on board with it, it's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it. because when I was younger, I really loved the movie that came out, and the game on the like PS3. Those were always pretty fun. But like I don't mind watching an anime here and there, and I'm really interested to see what they do with it. Not to say that the movie already had like that anime type feel like from the manga, that everything was like still flashy and all the stuff popped up and they acknowledged it in the world. But I'm really interested to see this take and how maybe it might even elevate that story when it comes to like motion pictures. Do you have any thoughts on it, Mr. Royman? I don't know if I think you not too long ago just watched the movie for the first time, didn't you? Like a couple years ago or something like that.
Logan versus the World. No, I saw it when it came out. I think I rented it, but and then I did rewatch it kind of within the last few years. I've seen it twice. I have not seen the trailer about what you guys are talking about. I've heard of it. I knew it was coming out. I think them doing a Scott Pilgrim sort of follow-up in animated form with at least the same voice actors is, kind of, for that particularly, it works, I feel, because it did start off as a comic book. It wasn't like they were just taking some random movie and then turning it into an animated series like they did with, say, Ghostbusters. But so I haven't seen visually what it looks like yet. If they does it kind of look like the same style as the comic, or is it like completely Japanese anime style?
No, it looks more or less like at least from what the stuff they've done. Yeah, the book it's based off of.
I've read at least one full volume of Scott Pilgrim comics. It's been, again, that was back when the movie came out, so this was like 13, 14 years ago. So I have a general sense of what an animated version of it would be like if they do stick to it. So yeah, I'll definitely check it out. I think that sounds kind of cool. I mean, again, I wasn't the biggest fan of the movie. I did like it. It just, again, it wasn't like my favorite Edgar Wright movie or anything, but I could see them. The movie was like, had all these different styles and was kind of like a animated live action movie anyway. So I think doing an actual cartoon on it.
I'm gonna do my what I would think I'm a fill in for Johnny Joestar. I'm gonna try to talk. Okay. Could you guys hear me? Oh, we lost Mr. Oyman actually.
Yes.
But
yes, we did.
So hi, I'm Mr. Joestar, and all I gotta say is yes. I'm so excited for this this show. Like, oh my god, this show, like the movie, I loved it. I loved it. It was one of my favorite movies when it came out. I'm so excited for this show.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's
Canny.
I got cut out before when I asked you this. The show a reboot of the movie, or is it like a follow up to it? It's in animated form.
I actually don't quite know. Like they
did not give us much information they didn't give other than the cast.
They basically just said like, boom, here's the cast. We basically got everybody back, and we're working on it.
No, there is.
No. Oh, there is?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think the trailer. I think the trailer they showed. Yeah, I think the trailer they just showed like the cast that's coming back. They didn't show like any actual
cast announcement.
Yeah. It was not like an actual, like they got the cells already on there and working and stuff like that. I don't know how far into production it is, but they haven't released an actual like trailer with our first look. But
how excited are you for this?
Oh, like I said, I'm pretty stoked. I'm intrigued. I'll have to wait till more information comes out, but I did enjoy the movie. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed the game, and I just a new take on it. It will be something that I definitely will keep my eyes and ears open for and see how Netflix tackles it. But
pretty good. Netflix animation is usually pretty good.
But yeah, unfortunately, yes. Mr. Joestar only came in for that one segment, and then he just walked out. Hopefully you guys were able to hear.
Join us?
Yeah, I mean, if you listen to the replay, oh man, it if you close your eyes, it'd be like he was here. But okay. With that being said, I do want to move on to the next topic, which Davel would have had some input, but I definitely do want to hear y'all's. So it looks like Deadline reported that Mike Flanagan pitched a kind of like the Joker, where he wanted to do a film or a project with Clayface, but apparently the studio said no. Probably because it seems like other sources were telling Deadline, which again they usually have pretty good sources, is that while the script is changing at this time, they're still kind of trying to iron out like what they're actually going to do for the Batman 2. But in the current state, it does appear that they told Mr. Flanagan no, because they are looking to include as a big addition to Matt Reeves' Batman's Part 2, Clayface. So what are y'all's like thoughts on how they could tackle Clayface? Because last we saw, when it came to the Batman, the world was pretty grounded. Granted, it did seem just a tad bit more like, I guess, not whimsical, but like fantastical than Nolan's Batman did, because this Gotham looked like something that would be in the comics. It looked almost like a believable city, but it did have a little bit of like like dystopian kind of, like you said, otherworldly kind of feel to it. It didn't feel quite as real like the Nolan's Batman, which looked like either just New York or like Chicago or something.
Nowhere, and not as exaggerated as the Schumacher Batman.
Yeah, it looked like the perfect in between. But like, do you guys think that they would that Clayface would fit into this world, or do you guys think they're gonna go for like a more golden age era where he was just a dude with the mask, or that was doing some killings, or even maybe like Spider-Man has the chameleon, where he has such great makeup talent that he's able to like make masks and that make him look identical to somebody else.
They'll probably do something like that.
I'll let Miss Cap go, and each one of y'all tell me, how do you think they will tackle this, and are you excited to potentially see someone that we haven't really ever seen in a live-action Batman before?
I'd like to see Clayface in a live action. Honestly, if it's done well.
Like in Harley.
And like, Clayface is just a really interesting character, as in some versions he was friends with Bruce Wayne. One time he was like a cop in some other places. So depending on where they take it, it would be nice if it's like the Chameleon, where he's able to take faces of people really, really well done, so no one actually knows his face. Or they could go the route where he can change his whole body, his whole figuration of his body. Now, both ways would be great, but I think in Matt Reeves' like version, the Batman, it would be probably more the chameleon based on how they did Riddler. Because Riddler wasn't as fantastical; he was more grounded and had a purpose and that. So I think that if they were gonna do Clayface, it would be like the guy who's able to like really like change his face, as I'm doing in like quotations, and like blend in with everybody else. Maybe go on a silly spree. It depends, but yeah, it would be a total cop out if it was just like this random guy just doing killings and he's just like nothing. I wouldn't like that at all. It has to be something grounded if they were going to do him. But I'm excited to see if how they do Clayface. Someone we have not seen live action wise, like at all. Like I don't think I've ever seen any live action Clayface.
No,
I remember.
We've gotten a couple Riddlers, a couple Penguins, more than a couple Jokers.
We haven't gotten Mad Hatter yet.
Nope, no Mad Hatter, no Miss. Oh, we got Mr. Freeze.
You count Gotham, that is.
Yeah, but we definitely haven't gotten Clayface. We'll pass the mic over to you, JT. Which version do you want to see on screen? And on top of that, I know you've seen some of Mr. Flanagan's other works, like I think he was the one who did the Dr. Sleep and the
Haunted on Hill House.
Haunted on Hill House.
Yeah, Haunted Hill House.
Did you watch that show?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Okay.
I watched both iterations.
So when it comes to that, are you kind of bummed that he was not able to take his spin on it? Like he said, he was really keen to do like a horror thriller tragedy film with just Clayface. Or do you think this approach that saving him for the Batman is a better call for you?
Actually, I think for me personally, I think Mark Flanagan is a great director. He's a great visionary, and I would love to see a tragic Clayface story. But in terms of the Batman, I think it's perfect. A lot of people thought that we was going to Mr. Freeze. I think that might be in the Batman Part Three, but I'm not going to go there yet. I think in this iteration, it's perfect. Um, Again, like I believe in Matt Reeves. I believe that it's going to be a chameleon base character. And I do. I mean, if I was Mike Flanagan, the one character I would do as like a tragic story, maybe like a Mad Hatter type thing, or like a Scarecrow, because I think Scarecrow as a standalone film, that'd be really cool to watch, and everything.
Hell,
But
you.
no, I totally agree. I think, huh?
No, I was gonna say with Scarecrow, you can make it like Moon Knight, kind of like where he's got some
Yeah.
backstory, but instead of being like a superhero with two personalities, have him be like a bad guy with two personalities.
Yeah.
But what were you
No, but
saying?
I really think that the Matt Reeves is doing a great job of building, the world around Batman, and at the events of the Batman, we don't know what's going on. But now since Clayface involved, probably the Riddler's going to be back and Catwoman's going to be back, and I don't know who else villains is going to be appear in this movie besides Clayface. I think it's a great addition. We have not seen Clayface before on live action, and so, but if it's like anything like the first one, story driven, character driven, a lot of action sequences, especially with Clayface and Batman, or Clayface and Bruce Wayne interact at some point within the movie. But again, I'm looking forward to it. Again, I just take a Batman. I kind of like how the villains are grounded in this world and everything. It's going to be interesting, and how it ties in with kind of with the Penguin series on HBO Max. Are we going to see Bruce Wayne
That's
in
what I
that
was about to
show,
say.
or like are we going to have hints about who might potentially be some of the villains we might see in this Gotham
Mhm.
show? And so there's so many possibilities with the Penguin show that we'll also be interested in, because we might see Joker appear. We might see maybe Poison Ivy, or maybe a glimmer of Mister Freeze here and there, because Gotham is
Yeah.
underwater at this point, and or maybe Killer Croc. I don't know, just like a lot of potential that Matt Reeves and the DC can play with this franchise, and so of course, a lot of spinoffs as well. So I mean, by all means, I can't wait till 2025 when this movie comes out in October. So whatever happens, let it be. But I am so glad that they're doing a villain that we have not seen before. So
Well, in the
props
new
to you, Matt
52,
Reeves.
the Penguin was the one who gave Clayface the shape-shifting stuff. So
Ooh.
if they could use the Penguin show to introduce and set up Clayface, even if they don't decide to go with the him being a shape-shifting mud monster, they could still go with using that show to have him be working for Penguin, and Penguin gives him whatever he
Ooh, that'd be
needs
kinda
to
cool.
change appearances and make masks of different people and shit like that. So I can see them using the show to that advantage. I don't see why they can't just get Mike Flanagan to work with them on that, though. If they want to build up Clayface and he wants to do a Clayface only property, give him a stab at doing, maybe a TV special or a straight to streaming movie or something that kind of sets him up as a good character for us to really give a shit about in the Batman 2.
That's a good. That would be a good idea, honestly. Especially that way they don't have to spend too
doing
much
Joker.
time. Too much time getting to that thing. Because I mean, if they are gonna go with the mud monster route, that's definitely something that will take some time to kind of get to. You can't just be like, oh, by
That
the
would
way,
probably
there's a mud
that would be
monster.
in the Gunverse. I could see them. They would do that version in the James Gunn DCU, but probably not in Matt Reeves' Batman.
Yeah. That and that's where a special beforehand, kind of like Werewolf by Night, like would be kind of cool. Just a quick, brief, short thing to help introduce such character. But would this be your villain of choice, or who do you think would be better fit for the Batman 2 in your opinion, Mr. Wyman?
I mean, it all depends what route they go with Clayface. I think now that I'm thinking about it, being like a failed actor turned crazy man who adapts other people's appearances, if they can make that, like, pull it off in a way that seems believable for what sort of universe that Matt Reeves movie set up, I would totally love to see Clayface. I think Batman going up against a deranged, insane actor would be really, really fun to watch. But I wouldn't mind if you did have a little bit of like more from the Penguin in the second movie, as well as maybe Hugo Strange, just because he's had a lot to do with Clayface in the past. So, but at the same time, I do like the idea of them doing Clayface as the prime villain is really cool, because I always thought we would get Clayface as a secondary or tertiary villain in a Batman movie. You know, like, oh, here's Clayface for the action scenes, and here's Clayface being, changing appearances and stuff. But like making him the main bad guy and person for Bruce Wayne Batman, I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I personally
actually, to me, like the one villain I see, maybe I really want to see in Batman 2 is Killer Croc. I feel like this is a good way to kind of introduce him, because again, Gotham is underwater, so around and causing Bruce Wayne's Batman's problem. That'd be kind of also Poison Ivy as well. So again, like Clayface, I think is a great choice, but I think there are like other opportunities, like for like spin-offs or like whatever that they can use like other villains for. But Clayface is a great choice.
I was gonna say Clayface is good, but when you mentioned Killer Croc, I feel like that would actually might have been even better in terms of where I was gonna take it. Because a part of me, the universe that it would fit in with, it would be just a dude who kind of is able to impersonate people and this and that. But like a good way to introduce some of that supernatural element to it and make the Batman universe even better, which I thought they grabbed perfect aspects of certain parts, except obviously he wasn't as crazy with his gadgets and everything like that. But Killer Croc or Clayface could introduce kind of like slight monstrous aspects to it, to where it would force them to start creating new ways to use gadgets to combat some of these more non-traditional people that he just can't beat with his bare like fists. So I'm leaning I'm leaning a little bit to hoping that Clayface is like a slight mud person, because again, I want to see if they could get the elements
if they can make it make sense, I'd be down.
Yeah, if they could get the elements they got from the first movie and make it to where it's also comic book accurate, where he's throwing all these like freeze pellets that explode, like freeze grenades and all these other crazy gadgets. That'll elevate a Batman version that I already love a lot, and make it like a 20 out of 10 in my book. But we'll go ahead and move on to the next topic, which I'll throw a little one that I didn't get a chance to add to the board because it came out today. But this one specifically for you, Miss Cap. I know we're moved on to Sam Wilson, Captain America, but Chris Evans did do a report with the comic book website, and he says that he says, and I'll quote him, "It's tough because look, I love the role deeply," Evans said. "He means so much to me, I really do. I think there's more Steve Rogers story to tell, but at the same time, I'm very
talk about it.
Yeah, like he's basically saying that, hinting that what we all kind of thought is eventually most likely Secret Wars. He'll come back, but how do you feel about that? That he's just, before it was like, no, it's over. Now he's just straight up saying like, yeah, the door's wide open for
And
for me
people
to jump.
really don't want to see him go.
Yeah.
I'm a little conflicted about it because I really want like Sam Wilson to come into his own without the shadow of Steve Rogers. But like with Chris Evans talking about this and stuff like that, I'm all like, obviously it would be like great to see him on screen and become that character again. I think like once the time has passed, the time has been passed, you know? And for him to come back and is it like kind of unfinished business?
Well, let me ask you
I feel
this.
like this.
Would you rather
Yeah.
it be like Secret Wars and then he comes back for some more time being and have some stories there, or would you rather it just be like what that fan favorite theory is that we just want to see him return the Infinity Stones and maybe that branches out somewhere? What would be your ideal comeback for Evans to don the shield once again?
Infinity Stones, honestly. Because I feel like if he comes to Secret Wars, it's just going to bring up so many other questions that want to get answered that's not going to get answered in the time that we
Yeah.
want them.
Ding, ding, ding.
So,
But would you care, honestly?
if we really just see, like...
they just say, here's Chris Evans, look at America's ass in this costume. Are you going to be asking some questions with Cap?
Everyone loses their mind.
I mean, yeah, but like, I want his just story to just end. I don't like fans got the closure. Captain America fans did not get closure at all.
I was like
Like
what?
he left, came back as an old man, gave the shield to Sam, and then
so many questions
see
left
him
unanswered.
Again. We don't know if he died, if he retired, if he went back in time to be with whoever he was with during that time.
How did he return the Reality Stone inside
it
of
was
Jane?
so
I need to know.
answered, and that's why I'm like, I'd rather not see him in Secret Wars to come back for a cameo. I'd rather them have a short where he's replacing all the Infinity Wars and the shenanigans that go with trying to replace something that, you know, we're already there. You know, that's more fun. That's more closure than actually maybe seeing him, who he ends up with. Like, does he stay back in time or whatever? A little bit more closure than having him pop up again and then leave. It's not satisfying at all.
All right, yeah, no,
that's all I gotta say about that.
Hey, that's a great answer. That's actually what I was hoping to pick your brain in specific about this, because if anyone, I mean, I can't pick Mr. Joestar's brain on the next topic that I had in mind, which was the Ninja Turtle game or E3 being canceled. So I thought I'd throw a little news that came out today to another panel member that I know would have had some words to say. But like I mentioned, real briefly, because I know that in the panel currently, the only gamers really are me and Mr. JT over here. But being a TMNT fan, yourself, Miss Cab, how are y'all feeling about the Last Ronin story that Miss Johnny Joestar is always raving on about, where one of the turtles is the only surviving one of the family, and he takes up the different weapons from all the other ones and just, I think, like a black mask, and he goes out, I guess, looking for vengeance. I haven't read the story myself, but what are y'all's thoughts on this game? Like, do you guys think... Go ahead.
You cut out. We didn't hear you.
We lost you for a minute.
Oh, man. Hold on.
Yeah, Puta, you cut out. We didn't hear you. What is it called? The Last Ronin storyline?
Yeah. Huh, that's strange. Yeah, even YouTube, it's saying we have poor quality. Hold on.
Never reliable.
Yeah, no, the looks like the internet is...
people stream on YouTube.
Is going Hold on. No, it's it seems like it's a... Could you guys hear me now? Yeah, it seems like it's a YouTube issue. I don't know what's going up there, because I got 460 megabits download and over 350 uploads. So my end is not as good as it normally is because I got 1 gig internet, but so it's like doing half. But even then, that's more than enough. It looks like this is on
YouTube's end.
YouTube's end. Yeah, it looks like I don't know if their servers aren't getting our information or what, but all right, excellent connection status again. Okay.
Woo!
Well then, like I was saying, like Polygon, it reported that this game is being made. They looks like so Polygon isn't the most reliable source, but apparently it was talking to the guy in charge over at Paramount Gaming's department, and he's like, "Oh yeah, after God of War, we wanted to make a game that's inspired by that type of style, and we were looking at The Last Ronin from the TMNT series, and that came out in 2020. But JT, this one's basically for you. Is this something that you would pick up day one, or something that would be on your watch list, or is this something that you're like, it sounds kind of interesting, but not really something I'm too excited about?
I'll pick up day one if it's well done and if the trailer shows. Yeah, I'm picking up day one because I think for me, I don't think Donatello's going to be the last one. Maybe like Raphael or maybe like a Leonardo. That'd be really cool. Of the last person who's just alive and he's battle scars. He has to face all these villains to get to the main culprit who killed everybody that he loved. Oh, I mean, and plus it has the same game mechanics as like the Batman Arkham games of like that stylistic wise, and it has a great story, great side characters, and great levels. And dude, yes, I will pick it up from day one because like I kind of miss those games. I'm kind of glad that a lot of these game developers are looking at all the Batman games for like inspiration as to how gameplay should be and how the mechanics and how the fluidity of everything should be. And so, but yes, I will. If the trailer looks really cool, I will pick it up day one.
Well, I got another question for you.
Reserve that bad boy.
Like
got
you
another
mentioned,
question?
yeah, you mentioned about it. The trailer looks good. Okay, so we all know that a studio or a certain publisher could make or break an excitement for the game. Let's say everything sounds kind of cool on paper, but it's like a Ubisoft. For me personally, that would kill my excitement. But like, what studio would you say would never kill your excitement if you heard they were the ones behind this game? Like Paramount talked to kind of like Sony and Marvel talked, and then they were like, okay, well, let's have Insomniac, your studio, do Spider-Man. Like Paramount's out there scouting different publishers and different developers. Who would be your choice to adapt this?
Who did the Batman Arkham games? Was it Rocksteady?
Rocksteady, yeah, they were the ones who did it.
Yeah,
They're doing the current Suicide Squad game that comes out this year if it doesn't get delayed.
Well, besides that, that's kind of bull BS. But I think Rocksteady and also Insomniac. I think for me, those are the only two developers because I have the Spider-Man and the Spider-Man Morales game. And I'm also going to get Spider-Man 2 game when it comes out this fall. Oh my God, I can't wait to play that game. But
Yes.
I think those two game developers, to me, I trust them because they know what they're doing. I think Marvel and Insomniac are doing an incredible job in just bringing all these stories to life with Miles Morales, the Wolverine game coming up maybe next year or the year after that. I mean, that's kind of cool. So if Rocksteady can do like, yeah, I think Rocksteady and Insomniac will be kind of those two game developers. I don't know many other ones, but Ubisoft is okay, but those are the ones I can trust the most.
Yeah.
Or
go ahead. Or what?
Or I think I have one contender is Naughty Dog.
Naughty Dog.
Naughty Dog can pull it off too.
Yeah,
So-
I know they could pull off the story. We've never had them had like a hand-to-hand combat, so I would definitely be interested to see them kind of go out of their area of expertise, kind of like Guerrilla Games went from Killzone to Horizon Zero Dawn, and they like completely redid their genre. So I was actually thinking of something like Naughty Dog, kind of get them out of their comfort zone, but also we know they could deliver on a great story. If anything else, I would personally say they said it themselves. God of War inspired Sony Santa Monica. They did an amazing job with the combat in God of War and God of War Ragnarok. So if they get their hands on something like this and make, like, put as much effort into the combat for Ninja Turtle game as they did for God of War, I feel like that would be something special as well. And before we move on to like completely out of the gaming section, I did want to kind of give a quick just PSA again. For the like second time in a row, E3 has been canceled. I've been saying that this thing has been dead for a while. It hasn't been good since probably like 2016, because the last couple ones before COVID hit and really threw a wrench at this big gaming convention. I know it was a place where we got the big shows at one point. We got a bunch of game announcements, and it's a time where all the whole gaming industry, like whether you're Team Xbox, Team Nintendo, Team PlayStation, we all just kind of came together and enjoyed watching these grand shows and announcements as a community. But over the years, it kind of started going downhill after 2016, and they promised last year that no, we canceled it this year, but next year for sure we'll be back. And then about almost a year later, they're like, oh yeah, it's we'll postpone it to probably next year, but this year we're doing. So with that being said, I'm pretty sure it's never coming back. Like it had its moment. These companies, like the one that killed it was the fact that Ubisoft pulled out last moment, because it gets expensive. They were charging like Super Bowl money to have these companies go show their shows on stage, but with YouTube being a thing and them doing their own showcases out of necessity because of like COVID and such, they weren't allowed to have these grand streams, and they saw that they could get the same information out at any given time they want, instead of being like time crunched to be like, oh, we got to meet this deadline. So it's a thing of the past. Obviously, companies say we save money, we show it when we want to, and it's a win-win for them. But I will say, pour one out for the homie known as E3, because there was some good times for us gaming fans that we got a lot of stuff back then.
Yeah.
And before we move on to our final topic of just how many spin-offs could be too much, I do want to bring up just a quick little question that I had for y'all. I know over the weekend we saw each other and we talked about it a little bit, but like, could you guys see Jonathan Majors be replaced as Kang? Like, do you think they would either push the movie back or just straight replace him if things keep going south? Because there were the allegations that there was domestic abuse and violence type of deal, which I hope aren't true, not just for the MCU, but it would be horrible if there is some stuff. But there are some signs that show that it might be a possibility that this happened, and that's definitely a PR nightmare for Kevin Feige and Marvel, who are suspiciously quiet at this time.
And they just laid off their big producers too. So there's a lot of shit going on over there.
So this could potentially throw a wrench in the MCU, but do you guys think they would replace him or wait till it blows over? Or if they do replace him, who do you guys could see being someone that they could go with? Almost like a personal choice of your guys. I'll let you, Mr. Oyman, go since I haven't asked you first in a good minute. Go ahead and go.
I've been wondering. First off, I think it's too early to say anything for sure about recasting him. I personally think he's going to stick around as Kang. Just gonna like try to give space and time for a lot of this stuff to kind of blow over, and they'll come up with some. I mean, Marvel's a money machine. So but keep him,
that's the thing though. They're a Marvel machine. All right, let me rephrase that.
It does happen.
Yeah, let me say you're an executive at Marvel. You know they're having these conversations right now.
Yeah. They're like, okay, we got to
contingencies.
Recast him. Sure, you can recast him. I think Marvel should be looking at how Ant-Man performed. It was not very good. And if all of this was to, if all the Jonathan Majors stuff, if it really did make it like, he gets publicly canceled or whatever, goes to jail, they should just look at rewrite. I mean, they should, first off, look at the number of projects that they have coming up. And I know that they already are kind of planning their Kang Dynasty and all that, but maybe they should just look at doing it about Doctor Doom, or just pick a different villain that people would actually get excited about. Because not a lot of people were excited about Quantumania, and that was supposed to be his big introduction to fans. And even though a lot of the fans liked him as Kang in that movie, he didn't capture the public zeitgeist the way that Thanos did and the way Loki did. So I can see Marvel just going in a bunch of new directions once they get new producers and new, Feige has which creators he's going to be working with. Because, I mean, you just said they just rehired someone to write Fantastic Four. Maybe they did that because there's something about Fantastic Four involving Kang, and maybe they want to look at doing Doctor Doom instead or something else. I mean, there's a lot going on right now. So I'm just wondering, it's kind of like with DC. If we're looking at the current slate of MCU movies coming up, and they are supposed to be teasing things down the road, which of those movies is it going to be relevant, right? Or is it going to be like fucking Morbius teasing Morbius and Vulture that's never going to go anywhere, right? Like, that's kind of what I'm wondering. There's a lot going on. I think there's a reason why they delayed Loki season 2, which would have come out when Secret War is coming out, or Secret Invasion is coming out. So Loki is probably going to get pushed again and refilmed. And, it's hard to say. MCU's in an iffy spot right now.
Yeah, don't you agree, JT, that it's like they just can't catch a break? They had a rocky Phase 4, which was probably planned. Yeah. Like, that was their
starting to become.
Like, that was like their let's get these new characters.
Experimental days.
Yeah,
DC dragging them down.
Like that's our comic relief phase. Like, all right, everything was serious. Yeah. We need to have a like bullshit phase so that we get before we get back into the like serious stuff again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's all these things. There's like Chapek being booted out and
Ironheart.
All that. Like, yeah, they haven't quite hit the mark, and when they're trying to launch their point back up, they just keep getting something in the way.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about it, JT? I want to hear from you. To me, it's
sad. Jonathan Majors is a great actor. He really is, and I'm so sad. But the point, Mr. Oldman's point, Doctor Doom, if they do this right, he will be a great replacement for Kang. If again, we don't know all the we don't know all the details about Jonathan Majors' case. We don't know. Well, legal stuff later. But if they had a Doctor Doom, I mean, Fantastic Four, I mean, I could just see it. I mean, to me personally, Doctor Doom is the most insane villain behind me besides Kang, because of course Kang is like, okay, he's like all over the place, different variants, but Doctor Doom, with his money, with his power, with his influence, he can do a lot more damage, I believe, than what Kang is, even though, like, the Council of Kangs were not, but to like practical ways, Doctor Doom is considered one of the baddest of bad behind, a lot of these other dudes like Thanos and Galactus and whatnot. But again, if they had a chance to kind of bring up a new villain, Doctor Doom might be the best bet to kind of bring us MCU fans on board, because right now it does not look good with DC and its own like new slate, and especially with the Blue Beetle trailer coming out that looks pretty good. Marvel has its hands full for the next 4 to 5 years. If this whole Jonathan Majors thing don't mess up stuff, because pushing things back, Loki going to push back, Secret Wars, Kang Dynasty is going to push back, and all these other projects push back, and the DC comes in and kind of steals the spotlight.
That's true.
So again, this is a major heartbreak for the MCU and for its fans, but they can kind of redeem themselves with Doctor Doom being the next big bad of Phase 5 and beyond, and maybe introduce Galactus and the X-Men earlier than expected to bring excitement back to the MCU. But what do I know? I'm just a fan waiting for the ride. I'm just riding the roller coaster. So what do I know?
If they replaced Kang with Doctor Doom, do you think they'd have to go with a black actor, or otherwise people would cry foul for them replacing a black actor character with a white villain?
I don't think so. If it's a completely different,
not necessarily.
If it's a different
I don't
character, I don't
think
see
so.
why there would be a correlation between the two.
Yeah.
Like
no, I know, but like say like
if they got Kang and
it's supposed to be a black actor that was taking down the Avengers, and then they replaced him with a white bad guy instead. Like I could see some people throwing a fuss about that, but I don't think it would be big enough to really.
I don't know,
I don't
but
think it would be too big.
The way that Hollywood works, though, they're all.
Well, yeah,
Would
but
it?
if you think about it, those people would that would complain about that would also be like the people who would complain and be like, "Why is the black guy a bad guy?" Like it's like it would be a lose-lose situation in that point. But what were you gonna say, Miss Cab? Well, how do you think they should handle this? Should in better, like, excuse my French, but should shit hit the fan?
Honestly, I don't know who would replace him because I feels like they actually finally have some like kind of almost solid ground. Almost, it's not as quicksand as as Phase 4 was. It felt like you were just drowning and you're not getting back up. So the fact that they have a plan and they're aiming their big their big showdown, Kang Dynasty. It's kind of like, oh shoot, like if our main guy is down for the count, like whatever happens in this case, it's still gonna do some damage on his career, whether it comes out true or not.
Yeah.
But the last time the MCU changed the character midway was like Hulk, Edward Norton to Mark Ruffalo, and that was when they were just starting out. So no one really paid attention then. But when you have your major big bad, something like this, and these allegations, it's like, yo,
allegations.
What are we going to do? Because it's like, if we keep them, people may judge us, and then if it turns out not true, then like, okay, see, we kept him, he's okay, but you still have that reputation. But if it turns out to be true, they're like, shoot, we can't keep this guy on there. We're gonna have major backlash.
They'll have to get Jonathan Miners. They'll have to hire Jonathan Miners to replace him.
I think I was talking to JT about this. How if they do replace him, I wouldn't. I don't really know any really big time actors who be able to play him.
Yeah.
But if they come up to a new up and comer, maybe but I wouldn't see that actually happening because he's this is the major guy. This is MCU. You don't want some newcomer, don't know anything about wanting to take up a mantle as big as this.
All right.
Especially because he's ready.
I know the perfect person for the job. Mr. Oyman keeps bringing this point up. I don't know in this place, but all right. So he says that the MCU, some people feel like it died with Iron Man. So what if we bring Tropic Thunder, Robert Downey Jr.
Or just replace
replace
Kang with an alternate universe evil Tony Stark. So then people get Downey Jr. back. People are happy, and evil Downey Jr. has to fight the Avengers now. $2 billion.
All right, but Miss Cap, well, bringing it back to what JT said and what you were talking about. So, what do you think would be the best alternative for Marvel against shit hits a fan? Do you think just replacing the actor and saying it's a Kang variant, and that's why he looks different? Because we did see at the end of Quantumania a freaking Skrull looking Kang. Or do you think switching over to like JT's idea and just changing out the bad guy as a whole would be the better alternative.
I say just change the actor out. If
Yeah.
it's
Far less
it's
hassle.
less hassle. You already have a timeline. All you have to do is change the actor who's going to play that character. Changing your entire timeline. One guy's like stupid mistake. Like it. No, I honestly just change the actor. It's much easier, less messier. You know, you
I am
don't have
paying
to
from
push
Earth
back.
193837. I totally.
Yeah.
Could you guys still hear me?
Like, just change the actor.
Oh man, it looks like, hold on, that we were in the red and yellow. All right, I could hear you guys again. No, it was OBS this time. OBS was having trouble communicating.
OBS.
But think about Miss Cat. But the main question I have is, if you replace the actor with the unknown actor with the actor that we don't like, will we watch all these shows with the new Kang variant? Were we like excited because Jonathan Majors was that threat in Quantumania? He was that like
he
that
was selling
big
it
bad, but yeah. So like if we have a new actor,
people aren't.
People
are going to over it.
They would have to find obviously an experienced actor, like.
But who?
Maybe John David Washington. He could probably play Kang. But I mean, like, there's a lot out there. I mean, Jonathan Majors wasn't even
there. Yeah,
he had acted in like 2 things that people saw before he played Kang. I'm sure there's tons of other actors out there you could pick from. But
exactly.
But
Tom Holland.
If stuff comes out about him and he's not,
The Rock.
and Marvel loses the case, they'll make him, and everyone turns on him. Everyone will welcome a new actor. If if like everyone universally agrees you are a wife beater, we can't have you in our Disney Marvel movies, and then they go with a new actor, then that new actor will celebrate it. But there will be a fair amount of people being like, "Yeah, Jonathan was better." Jonathan's always better.
Yeah.
All right.
Like I said, going back to that like Edward Norton, Mark Ruffalo thing.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah.
We'll barely, and like a couple of years down the road, we're barely gonna remember it. Technically, King was only in one movie. Technically,
Iron Man 1 is still great despite not having Don Cheadle, who we all know and love as Rhodey. Like, Iron Man
they've done it before.
So Loki could still work. I mean, the first rewatching Loki anyway could still work even if you end up recasting Kang, because they've already established that he's a multiversal villain, not just a timeline.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right,
we'll see.
I have the simple solution to this. It's pretty straightforward. There seems to be a common ground here between Marvel and DC, and me and my Snyder buddies agree. Our cult agrees. The simple solution is
guess what, motherfucker?
# fire James Gunn. It seems like he is a mole for. He was seeing that there was bad on DC, so he went over there. Then he came back to Marvel. That was sus as hell. Like they gave him the boot, treating him like crap, and now they come back begging to him, and he just comes so easily to finish Guardians.
He's about to deliver Marvel's best movie in years.
Yeah, and it just seems suspicious that just when Marvel starts like imploding inwards, DC starts like picking up. I mean, does that not sound like I'm not even putting on a tinfoil hat right now, Mr. Oyman. It's like everything's lining up too weirdly. # fire James Gunn.
Shut it down.
I love James Gunn, and you're right. He's about to deliver probably the best Marvel movies, in my opinion, since Endgame. Hopefully, I have complete faith in him.
Or at least as good as No Way Home. I'll take that.
Yeah, because I don't think there's a single project of him
he's
I
already
didn't like.
Moved on. Like, he's not endorsing Marvel anymore. He's done with Marvel. He did what he needed to. He had his thumbprints on both Infinity War and Endgame. So now he's going to do his one last hurrah, and he's already moved on with DC. I hope that he handles DC well and doesn't let trolls online distract him from what his goal is.
Yeah.
Because I see him interacting with people on Twitter a lot. I'm like, dude, just leave it be. You're a fucking co-CEO now.
Well, that's the thing, though. He does that, though, and that's the reason I haven't had Nova, because some stupid-ass Nova troll fan pissed him off, and he said, you know what? he literally said
put Dick Rider in your movie.
he literally said because of that guy, he said fuck Nova, and he's been giving us a short end of the stick, and it's been like 10 fucking years. And I don't blame him, because there are some insufferable trolls out there, but like this man will do stuff in spite. And he will continue and not give a single fuck about it.
Yeah.
He just does what James Gunn does.
I'm gonna go make a movie for DC, and then he comes back and still makes his Marvel movie after they fired him.
Yeah. But moving on to the last topic, because we are at the 1 hour and 43 mark. This one we'll keep it brief. We just saw John Wick Chapter 4. Most of us did, at least. And it was a cool movie.
So many guns.
It did set up, while there was like nonstop action, there was some world building, a lot of world building. And it got me wondering, they now have, for the sake of money, executives that are like thinking about John Wick 5. They're like, oh yeah, we could do something, we could make it work. We have the Ballerina, which we know they're making, which takes place between part 3 and 4, with Ana de Armas. We have the Continental, which is it takes place in the past, I think, like in the 70s. And it's probably gonna have to do with the what's that one guy's name? Winston Scott?
Winston!
Yeah, with Winston. It's probably going to have to deal with him. So it gets me wondering, not only that, but the actual high table got challenged, and John Wick left his staple on a bunch of friends, like his friend's daughter, Akira. Obviously, they're going with somewhere with it. Donnie Yen as Kane, there's potential for stuff like that, and he's come out and said, yeah, if they want to do a Kane movie, just come to me, basically. Like he's opening the doors wide open
so
for
good as fucking Kane. He's so
Lionsgate. Good. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm like, as cool and as much as I love John Wick 1, 2, 3, and 4 was just fantastic. I will say I will give the seal of endorsement of the Screen Crusaders to go watch that, in my opinion. But do you guys think they might be trying to expand too much, or where do you guys feel like it would be too much? Obviously, we're already getting Continental and Ballerina. Do you guys think they should cool it for a while, or do you guys think like, yeah, bring on that Akira movie or the Kane movie, or what would be some of these potentials? And the Mr. Nobody, I feel like they introduced that character and they probably have plans for him too. Yeah, because he played a role in this movie, but we never got an actual like name, and it seemed very like potential opening up. Like, why would you introduce this guy for this?
it was a setup character. It wasn't like just
So that clearly means that they have more than these two projects. Are you guys excited for that, or do you guys think like 3 should be the most? 4, where's the cutoff point for you guys?
I think having no cut. Whoops, I'm muted. Okay, having Keanu in those movies, like, he's the reason to watch John Wick. My opinion. I rewatched John Wick 4 the other day, and I did like it even more than the first time seeing it. So I wouldn't mind seeing something continue with those other characters, but if he really is dead, and there's a pretty strong argument for he is dead. If he really is dead and they just kind of spin off into totally other characters, I can't say that I'd be as interested. Maybe I'd check them out, because they have potential to be really great stories with, again, awesome action, choreography, and all the cool stunts that come with the John Wick movies. But without Keanu there, I don't know.
Would you agree with him?
I think that for me, I kind of like the Ballerina aspect, also like the Continental. But after that, again, I would miss the women on this one. Like, without Keanu, like without John Wick on screen in any capacity, it's just a normal action movie.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of the movie was still good, but when he's not on screen, I was like, get to the next Keanu stuff. Like, I really, that's why I did, like, for the most part, the first one's still the best because it is him the entire time. But also in the second and third, I felt like he was a little more present in the first 3 movies than the newest one. But when he was on screen in the newest one, even when he's fucking tumbling downstairs or jumping off of buildings and shit, I'm just like, damn, this is what these movies are about. Like, you need Keanu going through shit.
But I will say though, I think they will give it 2 to 3 years. I kind of feel like the Ballerina and Continental are great starts, but give it a break, at least 2 to 3 years, because that would give us some time to kind of cope with Keanu Reeves not being
all these
John
movies
Wick
have been
anymore.
2 to 3 years. I mean, the
Yeah,
last
so
one came
I
out
think
4
that
years ago.
yeah, because I think that 2 to 3 years, kind of plan of
I'd
like,
say like
okay, we
5
do
years.
spinoffs. How would people react to this, and this and that? Because I kind of feel like Mr. Nobody might be the next John Wick, so to speak. I feel like John Wick is like a name, but
Like
anybody
James
can
Bond.
be. Yeah, anybody can be like John Wick. So it'd be kind of cool to see Mr. Nobody and John Wick Chapter 5, so to speak, between the 2 3 years. But the Continental, the ballerina is kind of cool, but give it 2 3 years. Let us sit with this, and then like a couple years from now, then start doing like some meaningful spinoffs. But right now, it's too soon. But I kind of like what the franchise is heading with, like some of the backstory with the high table and everything. But give it 2 3 years for like more spinoffs. But the
Yeah.
Continental and ballerina are good starts.
So let's say you
I'd watch a
say
Kane
you
spinoff.
don't want too
I'd be
much,
excited for that.
but seeing like you said, Mr. Oyman, you liked Kane, you like JT said Mr. Nobody, but if you guys could pick like one other project other than the two obviously that are already confirmed, which one would you give priority to?
Maybe Kane? I don't know if they decided to do one. I mean, they're planning on doing something with that character. They didn't tease his death and not show it at the very end of the movie for no reason, so he'll be back, of course.
I'll go
Mr.
with
Nobody.
Mr. Nobody, but also it'd be kind of cool to see like a high table type TV show, but not like a movie per se.
That's
That'd
what
be
the
kind of
Continental
cool,
is.
just to give like a backstory. That'd be kind of cool. But
So the Continental, then, that's what you give priority?
Yeah, because that is pretty much what the Continental, I believe, is going to be.
Yeah.
All right, and I was trying to like ease a way around it, but Mr. Oyman let the cat out of the bag. The reason I mentioned earlier that John Wick 5 is kind of weird is because at the end of it, we do see him technically die. We don't see like I don't know how else. Well, you kind of
see him slump over.
Yeah, you see him slumped over. Like he gets his final like thought of his wife, and he did tell Winston because at that point he knew he was gonna die on that before he even got to the duel. He was doing it for his friends and to right some of the wrongs he did, some of the harm he caused them. But obviously, there's a high leaning to that he's dead. He's got a grave, and how would John Wick work? Because I mean, you got. So that was Lionsgate basically pulling a Mr. Krabs asking, are they going to defile John Wick's grave for money? But do you guys think that would work, or do you guys think that would like really cheapen this movie if it turned out where he was like, ooh, I faked it? How would you guys feel about that?
No, I feel like I'm sorry. I kind of feel like John Wick should stay dead, like because he did. Spoilers, my bad. But he did like a great job. Keanu Reeves played that character so well that I don't think nobody can replicate it to that point of what Keanu Reeves did. So
Keanu Reeves can come back as John Wick's twin brother. That's how you keep Keanu in the series, but John Wick stays dead.
Bruh.
I'd watch that. Hell, I'll watch him play Don Slick. He can play Don Slick, who's another assassin that everyone's afraid of. No. Kicking ass.
Wait.
I need more of it. At the same time, I see him go through hell making this movie, or at least his character, and I'm just like, yeah, he's got to be getting tired. He's already like in his 50s by now.
I think he's actually closer to 60.
Yeah, okay. Well, he's close to 60, but he's like 58 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
he's old. He's old.
He's getting up there. But so it's like, yeah, I kind of get it. Let him rest. Give him his little ending. If it is an ending, then I'm fine with it. But the fact that it is like the end of. basically what you were
Yeah,
saying.
not the end.
All right,
Yeah.
could you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because
Yep.
I got disconnected from you guys. Ah, fuck.
Ah, fuck.
Oh, damn.
Ah, shit.
I don't know what's going on, man. My internet says it's working.
Bitch.
All right, we're
Hey,
back.
To all of our listeners out there, are we on?
Yeah, it says we're back. I don't know
Yes.
what was going
Yeah.
on. But with that being said, I feel
Oh,
like
so weird.
we kind of covered everything that was on the list, surprisingly, and we only went like 10 minutes more than we usually did. So,
We're still not at 2 hours yet. We can keep talking.
yeah. But I want to go ahead and thank any listeners that stopped by. Once again, if it's your first time here, I hope that you come back for another episode because we always do have a lot of fun just discussing these geeky type entertainment stuff. Oh, shit. Yeah, we got to cut it short. But I'm glad that you guys stopped by. If you guys could share us out or hit that like and subscribe button, it would mean the world to us. I do want to go ahead and thank our panel members right here for their time and for the wonderful conversations you guys bring to every episode that we did. So I'll go ahead and say thanks to you, Miss Cap, for stopping by.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, could you hear me?
Always fun.
All right. Yeah, and thanks, of course, to you, JT. I do love hearing you sometimes get a little bit, not emotional, like...
Hot and heavy.
Hot and
Heated.
yeah, hot on some of these fans.
Hot up the microwave.
And some of these takes. And, of course, to you, Mr. Oyman, for being my fantastic co-host and helping me get through these episodes.
Boy, man.
But
Also, I do have one thing to say before we go.
okay,
Okay.
what's that?
You know how much is sacrificed?
I don't know. Did we lose you, JT?
Oh, you lost JT.
I have one thing to say.
Oh no, they did get him.
So,
All right. Well, we'll have to ask him what he said next time, but we'll go ahead and cut it. So because we are having obviously issues connecting to
yeah,
YouTube and
our
such.
going,
But
it's bad.
until next time, y'all have a fantastic.
You know how much I sacrificed?